Hello, everybody. Remember to breathe. Sturgill Simpson on 95.9, radiofreefargo.org. It's Wilson, and for the last 5 years has been Canna-Talk ND with Wilson. But today, friends, I'm shucking the shell off. We're going to do something new. What in the world with Wilson? I'm going to cover the craziest stories I can find this last week. Interesting, basically stories that make you go, what in the world did I just hear? Or did I just see? Or what in the world just happened? I'm going to be encouraging call-ins as well. Again, the studio number, 701-478-4959. My email is gweenmanizzle2008 at hotmail.com. GWEENMANIZZLE 2008 at hotmail. Again, when I'm playing music, you can call in 701-478-4959 with the craziest story you got. And we'll cover it here on What in the World with Wilson. I've got some news stuff that's kind of crazy we'll talk about through the hour here. And then again, when I play music, you got something you want to tell me, or us, the collective me, call in 701-478-4959, and we'll talk about it. Again, What in the World with Wilson begins its first show today. For the last 5 years, it's been Canna-Talk ND with Wilson. I do believe cannabis was created by God for us to use as we see fit. I do show him props every Sunday at Antioch Church, 10 a.m. recovery class. If you've got a monkey on your back and you've kicked that monkey off your back, but you can feel that little banana eater pulling on your pant leg, we believe the man upstairs can take care of you. Again, I was an addict for 28. Well, I stopped counting after a while, but I've been clean for the past 4 years, and I give the Holy Spirit that's living inside me the reason for that. So I can't be quiet about it. So again, recovery class, 10 a.m., Antioch Church, 417 Main Avenue, and then 11 a.m. worship. I'm on stick duty. Canna-Talk ND with Wilson has ran its course, but I believe cannabis should be legalized in the state of North Dakota. I am voting yes on Measure 5. New Economic Frontier is the group that's behind it. So educate others on the benefits of cannabis so they can vote smartly in November. Again, vote yes on November 5. This show used to be primarily cannabis, but now, again, I've just kind of got bored. I just don't want to do it anymore, okay? So what in the world with Wilson is going to be the new frontier, the new trail I'll be blazing. I'm going to cover crazy stories. Again, if you've got a crazy story and you want us to hear it, call during the musical segments, 701-478-4959. As we mature this show, I'm hoping calls will be primarily what happens, but I'll be curating crazy stories, and there's always something going on. There's always something going on. This show is brought to you by Black Cottage Alchemy. Black Cottage Alchemy on Facebook, 1,200 MIGs, a locally grown hemp, whipped up into a fun tub with comfrey, colloidal, just stuff for your outer body. Thank you, Black Cottage Alchemy, for sponsoring this show. Now, I don't know if you know about Inform, Best of the Red River Valley 2024, but it's when people vote for the coolest stuff, and we are the coolest. So, head on over to Inform, all right? And vote for your favorite radio station, favorite local radio show, and business. Please vote for Radio Free Fargo 95.9 FM, KRFLP as your favorite station. Please choose one of your specialty programs for best local radio show. You can find these by clicking on shows on your website, www.radiofreefargo.org. Please be supportive of businesses, past and present, who have and do support Radio Free Fargo, such as Fix It Forward Ministries and Orange Records. You can find voting easily on Facebook by looking up Best of the Red River Valley. We appreciate your support and your listening. Please tell others about Radio Free Fargo. You can like us on Facebook and follow us on Instagram. Again, you're listening to KRFF. RadioFreeFargo.org. We're streaming everywhere we can get into your ear hole on this blue and green marble. You're tapped into the very first show of What in the World with Wilson. We're going to cover weird news, just stuff that makes you go, what in the world? And we're going to take your calls, too. If you got something that'll blow my mind, call me, 701-478-4959. I believe crazy, interesting stories will help us pass the hour. So if you got something, I got an ear. Now, again, you can't be admitting to crimes unless you've already been to jail for it, then by all means. You know, unless you done something nuts and you've already paid the price. I mean, I can't have you confessing on here, I don't think. I don't know what the ramifications for it is, but I certainly don't want to be complicit in any of your wacky crime-ridden lifestyle. All right? So just keep that in mind. Now, let's talk about underwriting. Learn about underwriting opportunities with nonprofit Radio Free Fargo 95.9 KRFF. Increase public visibility and create a positive image for yourself. Underwriting may increase website traffic and possibly offer tax deductions. To learn more, please message us at our website, www.radiofreefargo.org. All right, we're going to play our first little toony tune, and then we're going to come back here, and let's see if I can't get you to go, what in the world did he just say? But right now, it's Surprise Chef. Brand new friendship theme on 95.9. Hey, friendship theme by Surprise Chef. Here on KRFF 95.9, streaming everywhere. RadioFreeFargo.org. On this blue and green marble, I can get into your ear hole, and I is Wilson. Me is Wilson. What in the world with Wilson? What in the world, indeed, with Wilson? It's the first show. I've been doing a show for about 5 years now. Canna-Talk ND with Wilson has retired itself. I've just gotten kind of sick of it. I've kind of, I've touted its horn. Tooted. I've tooted the Canna horn for a long time. 2019 November, I pulled into Radio Free Fargo, and it's just due for a change. I believe there's crazy enough stuff out there, and you all got crazy enough stuff that could support an hour weekly about crazy stuff. And so we're going to do it. What in the world with Wilson? If it don't work, well, then I'll just... You know what I'm saying? But anyway, thank you for joining me. It's a beautiful day in the upper Midwest. I don't know where y'all hailing from, but it is beautiful here. It's blankies at nighttime now. It's great. Cold nose. It's chilly weather, people. I don't know what this weather's going to be like this winter, so do what you're going to do. So what in the world with Wilson? What do we got here? Well, let's talk about this here. This is from Inside Edition. 32-year-old man discovers Lego piece was stuck in his nose for over 2 decades. Now, I don't know how many decades, how many years is a decade, right? Is it 15? Is it 10? Because they say for 26 years, Andy Norton, and this is another interesting thing, Andy spelled with an I. So one day he made a shocking discovery, so it's got to be a dude. What Andy spells his name with an I? I mean, what a freak, am I right? No wonder he lost a Lego piece up his nose. He spells his name with an I. Anyway, Andy Norton had suffered from congestion, asthma, and sleep apnea, but never made the connection. One day he made a shocking discovery, and we're going to find out what that shocking discovery is right now. An Arizona resident with a nasal breathing problem discovered that a part of a Lego toy had been blocking airflow for more than 2 decades. All right. So again, I don't know what determines a decade. Is it 10? It's just a long time for you to not know you got something up your nose, bruh. That's what that is. Yeah, that's like 2 decades too long for you to realize you got toys in your nose, bro. You got toys in your nose. All right. Andy, spelled with an I. Still don't believe. Come on, Andy. Change your name for us in Fargo. Anyway, at age 6, he did what a lot of children do. My sister, she put a nickel up her nose. And it's the craziest thing because it's funny all the stuff kids stick up their nose. And I remember we were out in the middle of nowhere because we were kind of raised like Pentecostal hippies. So we were out in some Bible camp with some pitched up tent next to a lake, And my sister shoved something big up her nose. I forget what it is, a bean, a marble, whatever, but it was a big thing up my sister's nose hole. And I remember Mom plugging up, like closing her mouth and closing one nose hole and blowing into her mouth or something, and it blew that marble out her nose hole. I thought, well, my mom is a genius. How did she know to cover holes, make an air pressure, and then blow? I mean, to this day, I'm just waiting for somebody to go, I got something stuck in my nose so I can blow it out. Anyway, I digress, but that's the beauty of this show. What in the World with Wilson? That's what you're listening to. We're covering some crazy story here by Andy, spelled with an I. He's a dude. Found a Lego piece in his nose that had been up there for 2 decades. That's the high quality, high caliber show content we got for us today. All right. So, Norton, at age 6, he says, I got a distinct memory of myself putting that in my nose, he said. He kind of remembers. All right. So the little piece called a Lego dot would not come out. Now, I don't know what a Lego dot is. I don't know if it's the hat on the dude. But anyway, 6-year-old Norton, he put a Lego man in the same nostril thinking it would lock in place, you know. So it must have been like a hat or something. And then he could pull both pieces out. All right. He was hoping the piece would stick to his head and he could just pull it out. You know, he's 6 years old. He's just trying to figure this out, you know. But he couldn't quite understand that if I did it, the head was going to get stuck. Well, he didn't quite understand that if he did that, the head was going to get stuck because you were going to push that further up. The Lego head got stuck too, and his mother came to the rescue. That's what moms do. They're just blowing beans out of your hole. She's pulling them out with the tweezers as she looks up there and says, okay, there's nothing else left in here. We're good to go. But his mother didn't realize the other tiny piece was still inside. So for the next 26 years, man, this dude's got issues. One day he made a discovery. He's in the shower. He's doing his thing. And I think it's funny they go doing my thing. I mean, what is your thing, Andy? You know, you're in your shower doing your thing. What's that? I mean, I don't have any things that I do in there. I mean, I just take a shower. I'm not in there doing my thing. I'm in there cleaning my body, Andy. Anyway, and blowing my nose in there. And out pops this Lego. And this memory came rushing back to me. And that's crazy. So, social media is flooded with kids who end up in the doctors with Legos stuck in their nose. He had a Lego stuck in his nose for 26 years. Now, despite Legos being invented in 1958, a little tidbit story or info for you, they're still one of the most popular kids' toys with 36 billion pieces made every year. And that's the kind of stories we got for you. Now, again, if you've got a crazy story you want to tell me on the musical break, you call in here, 701-478-4959. We'll put you on the air. We'll talk about it. The crazier, the better. But again, no admissions of crimes. You know, don't call me in the middle of one. Hey, I'm in Walmart. I've got a bunch of stuff down my pants. No, nothing like that. I mean, I'd like that. That'd be fun. I think that'd be great, especially if you're being chased around by the Walmart cop. You're on the phone talking to me. I dig it. I mean, I'm getting in a dopamine rush just thinking about it. But yeah, if you're in the middle of a crime, don't call to tell me about it. Unless, you know, you have to. I don't know. Now, last week, this is from WTOP News. I covered about a library, right, that had to shut down because somebody returned a DVD and a bug came out of it. Well, check it out. Another Detroit area library has got more bugs. The Oak Park Public Library in suburban Detroit was closed Wednesday for a scrubbing after bed bugs were found in 2 chairs in the computer area. Now, that'll make you say, what in the world is that? A library nearby in Royal Oak was closed Sunday after they had found unwanted visitors crawling out of a just-returned DVD case. So what's going on in the D, y'all? I mean, what's up with the D? I mean, I can assure you, I don't care what they do, okay? They said, okay, here's what they say. We feel that we took every available action to ensure our public spaces are safe, comfortable, and bedbug-free for both our staff and community members. Goes without question here. Well, you're going to have to say that, of course. But I'm telling you, I don't live in Detroit. But if I did, I would not be going to the library. I mean, you could say I'm overreacting, and you can say whatever you want. But if 2 bed bugs are hanging out in chairs in the computer area, I just can't. I can't come in there and read anymore. I'm not going to sit in there and get a nice novel and curl up into a bed bug chair at your library, Fred. Well, anyway, what else? What else we got for you? Now, we'll just keep running on this vein here. I got a WTOP news. This here is an 8-year-old Ohio girl. Okay, now you guys can guess now in your head what I'm going to say next. But an 8-year-old Ohio girl drove an SUV on a solo Target run. You know, she needed some barrettes. You know, her mom said, this comb you've been using is too ratchet, bro. You need a new one. She goes, well, I'm just going to do a solo Target run. Mom's like, okay, call on your way home. What? What in the world is going on? Now, I'm sure that somebody could call in from a farmer family or whatever and tell you that their 7-year-old son used to, run beet harvest with y'all. I mean, I'm not saying you can't learn stuff. Have you ever seen that guy, that little kid on YouTube talking about tractors? I mean, this guy sounds like he's he sounds like he's trapped in an 80-year-old body. So, anyway, you're listening to the very first What in the World with Wilson here on KRWF 95.9, radiofreefargo.org. After me, Stinky Arts Music Mart, and there's other stuff on Thursday, so don't forget the other days as well. Stuff is happening on 95.9. Again, why don't you go vote for Best Radio Station on Red River Valley? Inform. Do that for us, would you? Okay, so let's talk about this crazy girl. An 8-year-old girl took an SUV from her Ohio home and drove for miles to a store where she was later found unharmed. Now, she drove for miles. She drove for miles. But I mean, does she know how to drive? How? Yeah, I mean, do you model your parents? You're watching Daddy drives. You're like, well, how hard could it be? The girl whose name was not released in the vehicle, a 2020 Nissan Rogue, which the girl goes rogue in a Rogue, right, were reported missing around 9 a.m. Sunday. Well, that's early for her to be up. Family members said they had last seen the girl at the residence about 2 hours earlier. Well, she was playing Game Boy in the living room just an hour ago, said family members. She was playing tic-tac-toe or whatever. What do you mean she's a target in our vehicle? So as police launched an investigation, they learned a small child had been spotted driving a vehicle on a nearby road. But again, I don't know. Are you up at a light with this? Are you up at a light? You're there with your Nissan, your Nissan Altima. You look over and you see an 8-year-old. You call it in, and that's funny. Like, would I call it in? Would I have to call it in? I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I've never seen an 8-year-old kid at a stoplight before. I mean, I don't know what I'd do. I mean, and it's funny because I should tell you, well, I call the cops, but I don't know that I would. I don't know. So anyway, the SUV eventually was found a short time later in a parking lot of a Target store, which is every 8-year-old girl's dream on Sunday morning at 9, is to head over to Target and look around. You know what I'm saying? So police soon found, so check it out. So they found this child by herself inside the store. She told officers she had struck a mailbox while driving. Well, that was the first thing she said. But nothing else. Authorities did not say why she had decided to travel to the store or provide further details about her trip, which I wish they would. Now, here's something interesting for y'all. Now, don't have your kids driving to the store now, but the girl is too young to be charged criminally. Think about that. She's too young to be charged criminally. Even though, what did she do? She stole a car? It wasn't her car. She took it without their permission. So what are we talking about? The reckless driving? I mean, it's funny if she was an adult what they would have charged her with. But she's too young to be charged criminally. Isn't that crazy? I think that is really wild. So what else we got? Let me hit you with this just tidbit story here, and then we will head to a musical break. And then we'll talk about more crazy news. Again, this used to be Canna-Talk ND with Wilson. It's certainly Wilson. I certainly believe you should vote yes on Measure 5, the cannabis legalization measure to be voted on in November. However, it's time for a change, and I'm kind of sick of talking about cannabis every week, and maybe you all are too. So here we are, me freshening up the 4 o'clock hour on a Thursday. Okay? And now, here we go. This is from All Things Interesting. Okay? And you read this, and then you're like, what? Some octopuses hunt with packs of fish. Okay? I didn't know that. Did you know that? All right? They hunt with packs of fish, and they punch those that don't cooperate. So anyway, let's see. Octopuses hunted alone. That's what researchers believed back in the day. And that fish came by to pick up any leftover scraps. But new research reveals a much more complex operation with this. Okay? Octopuses off the southern coast of Israel have formed a fascinating bond with the local fish population. And I don't even know why they got cameras strapped. So this strange collaboration has already proven to be beneficial to each aquatic creature, enabling them to hunt more effectively. Okay, so an even more surprising display, the octopus have also been seen punching or pushing away fish in the hunting group that are seemingly not carrying their own weight. All right. So the octopus basically works as the decider of the group. All right. There's a sign that some cognition is occurring here for sure. The octopus would sometimes be seen foraging alongside fish, but the relationship is unclear. So, here's what we learned here. Some octopus hunt with packs of fish, but if you don't cooperate, they'll punch you. So that's words to live by, I believe. 95.9, RadioFreeFargo.org. You're listening to What in the World with Wilson. I got Martin Miller and Mateus Asato doing Vultures on 95.9. Oh, yeah, what a pleasant palate cleanser. Vultures, Martin Miller and Mateus Asato on KRFF 95.9 LPFM, RadioFreeFargo.org. We're streaming everywhere on this blue and green marble. We can get into your ear hole. Now, if you got a crazy story you want us to hear and discuss, you call in at our next musical break, 701-478-4959, and we'll talk about it. We just discussed an 8-year-old who took the vehicle to a Target to shop, and my daughter informed me that in the state of North Dakota, anybody under 10 cannot be charged with a crime, and so it's probably similar to where she is in Ohio. But it's funny, shout out to my daughter, she's helping me here, she's the editor of the show, said that the girl was drinking a Frappuccino and shopping. So it just adds a whole nother element to this thing. Not only did somehow this 8-year-old figure out how to drive casually, she grabbed herself a Frappuccino budget. She had a little cash for a little zippity-doo-dah while she looked at tank tops for the summer. That's crazy. She had the cash. I don't know. I'm trying to think back to when I was 8. Did I have the wherewithal to grab some Starbucks money? You know what I'm saying? I just don't feel like I was doing that at 8. But anyway, I got to drop in here one quick cannabis story. A lot of you may know, if you listen to this show, that it used to be Canna-Talk ND with me, Wilson, but now it's What in the World with Wilson. So we're covering crazy stories, things that make you go, what in the world did I just hear? What in the world was that? And an 8-year-old driving to Target is included in one of those stories. Octopuses punching fish. That's the kind of stuff we're going to talk about. And if you got something you want to call in, we can talk about that too. But I started this show as advocating for cannabis legalization, and there was just an interesting article here from Cannabis Moment. Pennsylvania police arrest an average of 32 people every day for cannabis. Isn't that crazy? In 2023, 10,000 adults were arrested for possession of up to 30 grams of cannabis, which is under an ounce. Or no. Is over an ounce, like a couple grams over an ounce. It's basically 2 grams more than what you're going to be allowed in North Dakota once it's voted yes in November. Vote yes. But still, that seems like a lot of people daily. It's getting, stay tuned for Stinky Arts Music Mart. So what do we got here? I got this from Yahoo News. This just happened. All right, let's get into the story, and then I'll try to do some commentary. I've already been, I'm trying to be better. I'm trying to be better at this. St. Paul police. Man jumps into vehicle, steals it as driver performs sobriety test. Police had a driver pull over Sunday night in St. Paul when a man suddenly jumped in her vehicle and stole it. And that should tell you the state of our world right now. I don't want to say 20 years ago that had never happened, but I didn't read an article about this back in the day, so let me start again. Police had a driver pulled over Sunday night, and they had this person out doing sobriety tests, this girl, all right? And a cop jumped in, and a guy jumps in her vehicle and takes it. So the incident began when an officer saw the driver of a 2015 Lincoln Navigator speeding about 610. I got to calm down. I'm getting excited. 2015 Lincoln Navigator speeding about 6:10 p.m. near West 7th Street in Jefferson. Pulled the vehicle over. And there's going to be a funny twist at the end of this, too, so stay with me. The officer suspected the driver was intoxicated and began field sobriety testing. A man, later identified as a 39-year-old, what? A man as a 39-year-old. That's all you got for us? You want us to know he identifies as 39 years? He's been alive? Whatever. Was sitting on a nearby bus bench, chilling, right? Chilling. And got into the driver's seat of a vehicle, according to criminal charges. The officer ran to the vehicle and repeatedly ordered the suspect to stop, but he sped away, took off. With the assistance of the woman driving the Navigator, hold on. All right. The person you trying to get busted for a Dewey is going to help you with this. So here's what they did. With the assistance of the woman driving the Navigator, police were able to track her phone and other electronic devices in the stolen vehicle via the Find My application. The app showed the vehicle in Apple Valley, which is where police found the woman's phone, which had apparently been thrown from the vehicle. Okay, so St. Paul police continued tracking the woman's AirPods and an Apple AirTag on her keyring. I'm telling you, people, crime commission is way different with AirPods and Apple AirTags on your person, which showed the vehicle at a gas station at Nicollet Avenue and 77th Street. So when the officers got there, the suspect drove off in the Navigator. Now, I'm wondering where this girl is right now. She in with the cops? She hanging out with them, like doing play-by-plays? Hey, take a right here, take a right there. I mean, where's this woman at? Richfield and Bloomington officers, they pursued the vehicle, as they do, and took the suspect into custody at an airport hangar. Okay. St. Paul police identified the man as the suspect who stole the Navigator, who also identifies as a 39-year-old. So, here's what's crazy. The man, however, showed signs of narcotic intoxication. The police obtained a search warrant for his blood. So charges against him could be amended, and I just don't even know what that means. But check this out. Police determined the Navigator's driver was not intoxicated, and she was released. I mean, what a crazy story. Now, that makes you go, what in the world was that? She's at home going, what in the world just happened? I was on the way back from Target getting a Frappuccino, and I spilled a little, so I bent down to wipe it up with a napkin, and next thing you know, my vehicle's stolen. Her vehicle was later returned to her. Again, you're listening to What in the World with Wilson. We cover all the craziest news I can find. And if you got a crazy story, I'd like to hear that too. So that's kind of how we'll go forward with this show. If you got a crazy story, call me, 701-478-4959, or email me at gweenmanizzle2008 at hotmail.com, GWEENMANIZZLE at Hotmail. Thank you for listening to me. Again, up next, Stinky Arts, a Music Mart. Let me just say, New Economic Frontier in the state of North Dakota has gotten signatures to get a measure on the ballot. Measure number 5 to legalize cannabis in the state of North Dakota. So do what you got to do. All right. Anybody know what ASAP Rocky stands for? Anybody care? I know I just learned, and it was interesting. All right. So let's find out here. It stands for, so we got ASAP Rocky. You got all kinds of ASAPs, right? It's like this group of rappers. The acronym stands for Always Strive and Prosper. So there you go. The more you know. The more you know. Now, this here is just an interesting kind of what in the world. Woman shops in world's most luxurious supermarket and is stunned by the cost of berries. Now, how much do you think the berries are going to be cost? They're going to be mixed berries. Okay? We all know how quickly our trolleys can fill up at a supermarket. I've never had a trolley in a supermarket, but when I do, it fills up. One woman can't get over how expensive stuff is. So, some people like to treat themselves to luxurious foods like M&S or Waitrose, and in the U.S., Erewhon, where I've heard about Erewhon, but I don't know. Okay, so anyway, one woman who's obsessed with thrifting and finding good deals decided to check out the luxury food store. She could not believe the price for a box of berries. You ready? How much are these berries? Let's see, where are they? Okay. Let's see, $41 for a box of strawberry, blackberry, blueberries, and raspberries. $41, and it's just like a regular container. $41. I just don't even know how, even if you're rich enough, right? Like, even if you're rich enough, I just don't know. All right. Now, here's something. You guys can play around with this yourself. It's a website called weirduniverse.net. Jackson Whitlow made headlines in 1937 by fasting for 52 days. He did it because he said God had told him to. He broke his fast with elderberry wine and squirrel broth. Okay, so anybody curious about squirrel broth? Squirrel broth. So about a year later, God told Whitlow to live in a cave. His condition rapidly deteriorated, and by the start of 1939, he was dead. According to Whitlow, this was also the Lord's will. Well, that's one way to do it, right? Jackson Whitlow is his obituary. Jackson Whitlow, mountain faster, paid last tribute. So, doctors from nearby Dunlap said his death was caused by the long fasts and periodic short fasts since then. I'm thinking it might be the squirrel broth. All right. Only recently, friends discovered him living in a cave, saying the Lord directed him there. Although warned of his poor condition, he refused to return home, and he said if he dies, it's the Lord's will. Jackson Whitlow, 52 days. I don't even know the longest. I mean, I fast one day. I fasted 2. Right? But I don't, I don't know. But I do believe we're getting to the end here. Programming on KRFFLP FM Radio Free Fargo 95.9 is being underwritten by Flatland Guitar and Thru. Flatland Guitars, your full-service guitar shop and your exclusive dealer for Yamaha, Taylor, and Paul Reed Smith guitars and other brands. They sell guitars on consignment. They take trade-ins and have a full-service on-site repair center. Check out Flatland Guitar and Thru on Facebook, or come by and visit them in person at their location at 1450 25th Street South in Fargo. Well, I'm going to play the last song. We'll come back. I'll tuck you in. Here's Black Sand by Glass Beams. Well, that was Black Sand by Glass Beams for everybody's sensitive ear holes. KRFF 95.9, What in the World with Wilson, the very first show by me. I'm no stranger to radio or this time slot. I used to do Canna-Talk ND with Wilson. I do believe cannabis should be legalized. I believe God created cannabis for us to use as we see fit, and I show him props every Sunday, 417 Main Avenue in Fargo. 10 a.m. recovery class. If you got a monkey on your back, or you've kicked said monkey off your back, but you can feel that little banana eater pulling on your pant leg, we believe the man upstairs can help you. Come through, 10 a.m. recovery. I've been clean for 4 years, and I believe it's him that's helped me. So, it is what it is. Educate yourselves on the benefits of cannabis so you can educate others and vote yes on Measure 5 in November 5. I'll be back next Thursday to do the second What in the World with Wilson. But up next, it's Stinky Arts Music Mart. So get ready for that. Maybe get some, plugs for your nose because it's going to be extra stinky. All right. So let me just give you one quick taste here. And it's funny I said taste, but this is interesting here. Archaeologists unearthed Renaissance-era urine flasks at Caesar's Forum in Rome. All right. So these flasks were used by doctors to diagnose diseases like jaundice and diabetes. All right. So you would pee in these things and then they would smell them. All right. They would smell them. And in some cases, all right. So hospital staff, they use the flasks to collect urine and they, for analysis and observation, but they didn't have anything fancy, right? So this analysis and observation was sticking their fingers in it. And so anyway, including smelling and tasting. This practice would have been routine as the practice of uroscopy, or the study of urine. It had been an integral part of medicine. So what got me hung up here is this tasting at times. Can you imagine doctors tasting your pee to tell you what's wrong with you? What in the world is that? Anyway, my friends, I'm going to jump out of here. Stinky Arts Music Mart is on deck, so get ready for that. I'm out the door. I'll be back in next Thursday. Be good to yourselves. I'm out. It's Judgment Day. David Allen. Peace.